All right, everyone, welcome to Division A East tonight. We are casting the Careless Badgers versus Tiny Dancers, and I have Dax with me as my co-caster. How are you doing, Dax?
I am doing well. Just happy to be here for a second and third time later. We got that doubleheader today. Always a blast casting with you, Jazzy, and I'm excited to get right into this game number one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for those of you that don't know, after this series is completed, we are casting another game here tonight. Is going to be Can't Counterpick Stupid against Resurgence of the Storm. So, stick around. This is going to be a full night of games. Let's go over these map selections here. The coin toss was won by Careless Badgers. And look at me. I'm behind. I didn't even update Soothsayer to get all this information in. So, we'll do it in real time.
Yeah, Fader of the Mind.
Map pick was won by Careless Badgers. For the map bans, we have Brax's Holdout. Brax's Holdout and Alterac Pass being banned on the side of Careless Badgers. On the side of Tiny Dancers, we got Towers of Doom and Tomb of the Spider Queen being banned away. That brings us to our first pick by Tiny Dancers, and we are going to Volskaya Foundry for game number 1 of the night. Boop. There we go.
Yep, absolutely. And if you are just tuning in, getting home from work, if you're on the West Coast, or maybe you work late on the East Coast, we did have a balance patch today. Diva did get a little bit of a nerf. I'm not sure if it is quite enough yet. Gazlo, with the recent rework, getting some number buffs there.
Yes.
The one I'm excited for is Tychus getting a little bit of range at 1 on his auto attacks.
Yeah, I saw that. Now has that level 1 talent he can go into to get 1 extra range on his AA. So I'm really interested to see where Tychus is going to sit with this update, because we all know a little bit tricky to play Tychus. He's meant to be a frontline, burner, but unfortunately his range so short that it puts him in a lot of harm's way doing his job. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this turns out. Now, I do believe it looks like these teams here are, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. This is their NGS game, but they're also both in Heroes Lounge, so they're kind of tying 2 games into one here, so they can get them both knocked out and counting them for both leagues. So that's kind of interesting. But we're just waiting on one member here on the side of Tiny Dancers before we get into this. I'm excited. This is my first time casting these teams. Yeah, I've been wanting to pick up Careless Badgers, obviously, because I have some friends in there that,
that's
I want to watch
names. Yeah, a lot of names in here that I'm sure a lot of people recognize. Just good members of the HOTS community in general, as well as Tiny Dancers being around for quite some time. I think this is at least their 2nd or 3rd season together, I believe, in NGS. So, looking forward to this matchup here. Volskaya is one of my favorites. A good Sylvanas map. She did get a little bit of a tweak, buffing dagger damage. Which at level 7, that was my go-to talent that I picked up anyway. But really interesting with now mind control. Now putting full stacks on, I would assume, I guess if you go percent-based damage at 1, you can really do some damage onto that frontliners with Wailing Arrow. I'm sorry, not Wailing Arrow, but mind control.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be enough to make mind control meta. I mean, basically what mind control does is silences one member of the team for a few seconds, and you kind of get to pull them towards you a bit and miss position. But, I mean, you can't really beat a 5-man silence if you can land your arrow nicely, And I don't... There's just... there's too much value there out of being able to silence more than one person and target more than one person, so...
Yeah,
And it's a skill shot, too. It's not like it's a point and click. It's a skill shot you have to land.
And it's an ultimate. I think that's probably the problem. If it's a point and click, sure. But she, I think Sylv's already up in the higher win rates. I don't think she actually needed the buff to that talent at 7. Because either going dagger build, any of the builds, I think that's the kind of the go-to talent at 7. I think off the top of my head, you would know better than I would.
I am excited to see. I saw that Alex got a little bit of buff to her some talents that were picked less, as well as Anduin had a bit of buffs today. I think a cooldown on his Leap of Faith.
Yeah, cooldown on that. I think more healing on Flash of Light at 1, and then
more damage on his root as well.
And I believe correctly. Alex, off the top of my head, I think Alex got the buff to the W build on the healing. But I just think there's so many heroes in this game that punish circles on the ground that I think it's just maybe if she can maybe it's a channel ability and you can kind of pop that. Maybe for like
Yeah.
less healing, to maybe like, because you know what I mean, like everyone just goes and
I
stands in it.
mean, here's the thing. Kai kind of known for her Alex Anduin plays. I mean, every healer plays technically, but
Yeah.
so I'm interested to see if maybe she's gonna try out some of those buff talents tonight on those heroes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so we're in a whole new meta as of I want to say, what was the patch, maybe 3 hours ago. So I'm not sure if these teams got a chance to jump in there and mess around a little bit. I still think Diva is still pretty powerful. Damage toned down just a little bit, but she still does. I think I think she's right in line with the first nerf to Cassia, where she's still ban worthy, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. I do like that they didn't, it wasn't big nerfs coming out to her, but enough that it's going to put her in a state where she's not super dominant, at least in the lower ranks. I think I talked about this with you the other night. Looking at her win rate, as you go up into, those Master GM ranks, she's not as dominant as she appears to be in lower ranks. So I think
the new Kael'thas, yeah.
Yeah, I think now with those changes to her, she'll be in a good position in all the ranks. She's still viable, probably at Master GM level play if you choose to grab her. But maybe not as dominating in the lower ranks.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right there. So, but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I guess fortunately for us, I mean, like I said, we are casting here in the competitive environment where we'll see usually target bans more often than meta bans. If they nerf this, and we'll see if she's still broken or not.
Okay, it does look like Tiny Dancers is going to grab their sub because one of their team members was having some computer issues, it seems like. So they're getting the sub in right now, and then we'll be able to start this match here.
Oh man, I had those no more than, I want to say, maybe a month or two ago. It was pretty bad. It was like a Windows update, and I kept getting blue screens of death anytime I tried to play anything. Yeah.
All right. Their subs logging in right now. They're trying to make it in that 15-minute mark here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good hard thing. I mean, depending on the teams, they can really hold people to that. Obviously, they were here and had issues, so I'm guessing Badgers are probably just, they're like, if it's like a minute over, I don't think we're gonna get a game one, I think, for sure.
Yeah. If not, we can have a Daxx and Jazzy talk show for the next 2 hours.
Let's do it. Let's also take a look here at these patch notes, and we can just dissect these here for a little bit.
Yeah, break them down real well.
The Cho'Gall finally getting a nerf. I did see that. Just going to Tassadar, not getting the full shield or as much of the shield on those auto attacks anymore.
Yeah. All right, and that's going to be the sub joining the lobby right there. I'm just going to let them know that we're still ready. And hopefully we can get into this game number 1 of the best of 3 series. Readies are out from Tiny Dancers. Looks like Careless Badgers are good to go as well.
Let's do it.
And we're a go here. Just waiting to get into this draft for that start button to be hit. Any second now, I'm sure of it.
They hit the ready, and then it's like the game decides, and then starts the 3, 2, 1 countdown.
Jazzalene, I like it. That's a cool name.
Talk show. Oh, good. Lobby's bugged. Rip.
Wait a minute, quick. Mr.
Oh, he may wait. Oh, shoot. I was going to say, it does. So the lobby does this every once in a while. Sometimes you have to leave the party. Like, just leave the game, leave the party of the group, and then get invited back in. So they could have saved this whole thing, but yeah.
Well, they're going to remake, it looks like. Oh, what a kickoff to tonight's matches.
You know what? We'll just get these out of the way now. If this is all we have to deal with, it's not too bad. Unfortunately, saving your voice here in these this head to head here, you don't have to sit here and talk to yourself. Go to a sorry for the technical difficulties screen. All right.
So wait, what's the way to fix it if they run into the issue again?
So normally you can just, whoever's like bugged, they can kind of leave the lobby here, and then usually the teams just sit in a party together, like in like the main screen. They can just leave that party, and then it seems to work. Okay. It's happened to us a couple times this season, and then they can just join back in, just not within that 5-stack party.
Let's see if this is gonna work then.
Yeah, right. Big bucks, no whammy. Let's go.
All right, once again, Reddy's coming out here. Hopefully we don't run too late for our next series. While we wait, we need a dance off.
I like where your head's at, Brando.
We got lots of friends joining us in chat, though. Luminaire's here, Brando, Zell, and the Permanent Moose all hanging out. Welcome, guys. Thanks for the patience here as we get into game number 1. We appreciate it. All right, still having lobby issues. This is nice. Well, let's go over those map selections again, just in case we have some people joining us now that didn't catch it the first time. We're just gonna leave that up here for a minute while we get this lobby sorted, because it seems like the game is giving us issues now. It's not either of the teams. But we did have Careless Badgers win that coin toss, opt for first pick. They banned out Braxis Holdout and Alterac Pass. On the side of Tiny Dancers, they banned out Towers of Doom, Tomb of the Spider Queen. They are bringing us to Volskaya Foundry for game number 1. This one picked by Tiny Dancers.
Romney in the chat. Resurgence isn't here till later, but you're more than welcome to stay. I appreciate you stopping in.
Came for Resurgence Day for A East. I appreciate it. Brando, I see a lot of people are playing Genshin Impact. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, same. It looked pretty good.
Aw. Tell us about your dog, Dax.
Yeah, so I'll tell everybody in chat, my poor pup got neutered today, so he's just kind of, I took the cone off of him, so he's just wandering around from spot to spot, kind of whimpering and whining, just looking for a comfortable spot to lay down. Now what? Okay.
I'm not sure what's going on here with the lobby, but hopefully they get it sorted. It looks like they're restarting games to see if that's going to fix. I'm not sure. We got Tier List joining us. Nanani. I also saw... Who else did I see in here? Stanicus. That's who I saw. Welcome, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We're just trying to figure out this lobby. It looks like they're going to reform again because the game is not letting us start the match. Get your pet spayed or neutered and control the wild animal population.
Absolutely. I will be the Bob Barker of the NGS community.
Custom lobby system really needs some love. Yeah, there's just every once in a while this issue will happen where for some reason somebody will not meet the requirements, but there really shouldn't be any requirements on a custom lobby, so I don't know what's going on there. All right, we are all in the lobby now. Let's see if this time it's going to work or not. Fingers crossed. We got it sorted. Yay! Here we go.
All right. We did it.
Woo! Took almost a half an hour, but we're here. Careless Badgers versus Tiny Dancers. First game on Volskaya Foundry. Thanks for everyone's patience. We really appreciate it. I'm sure the teams appreciate you coming and showing your support for them here. This is going to be Samu Band coming out first for the side of Careless Badgers.
Yeah, just, I didn't read his. I don't play Samurai much, so I didn't see what they changed with him.
They nerfed him?
I don't know if it was a nerf or what.
Yeah.
I thought I saw Samurai. Oh, they did nerf him. Okay,
it definitely was nerfs. There's the dev comments were basically like, I know he's a niche pick, but at this point, people who know how to play them, he's really hard to lock down and control. So they nerfed some of his stuff to make him a little easier to actually be able to kill.
Yeah, and if you get that cheese with the Abathur hat, it's just really oppressive to play with.
All right, Anaban on the side of Tiny Dancers. Garrosh taken away by Careless Badgers. And that's going to be the Diablo ban for the first round of bans here in game number 1. First pick over to the side of Careless Badgers. What do you think they're going to prioritize here, Dax?
I think Taras is going to maybe pick up the ETC. I mean, he's been banned for quite a bit, but the Encore getting the nerf and his armor getting nerfed as well. So a little squishier than normal and not getting those resets, but I still think he's a decent tank. But maybe priority on the Johanna here. Maybe she's back in with ETC going out. But we're going to see Coffee picking up that Diva.
Coffee is subbing for Careless Badgers tonight as Slice is unable to make the game. So that's what's going to go on here. Diva getting locked in. First pick. Now, I'm not familiar with Tiny Dancers players or what they have on their roster to pick from here. Do you have any idea?
Here we go again.
I was going to say, looks like the Fishing Queen plays a really good Chromie so far this season. And then looks like the Silverfish, they did ban the Garrosh, but, does play ETC as well. And then Anduin, we did speak a little bit there, getting the buff to the Q here. Okay, I was going to say, we could prioritize a healer by Kai, Anduin getting picked up there, Ana getting banned, maybe just, locking down something that, can be value to the team. And then there is that ETC pickup for Kyle.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's surprised here. These are both heroes that we've seen Kyle and Kai play. So nothing out of the norm coming from the side of the Careless Badgers. This is going to be the KTZ getting banned out here by Tiny Dancers. I'm not sure if Breakwood and Jira play that. It could just be a target ban on them, but for sure Coffee does, so maybe they're worried about some switches going on later in
Those
the draft.
Tactical swaps, yeah. Stuff you kind of forget about in the heat of these drafts. You get so used to playing Storm League. And then there's the Rainer ban. You don't get to see that very often. Most people, he is an oversized minion, but I love the guy. I've been playing him a ton this season. Just really powerful. But just taking away some of those comfort picks here. But with the Chromie, the Anduin, we could see a Johanna here, maybe a May, and maybe a Greymane.
But it is going to be the May getting picked up by Silver here.
Do your worst.
Followed up by that
right.
Yrel. Yrel also was touched today in today's patch.
I think it was just her Hand of Freedom.
Yeah,
I think
it was
got nerfed.
Yeah, just one slight nerf. Yeah, that's what it was. That sounds right to me.
So then we'll see Coffee and Mr. Jack facing off in the bot lane here on Volskaya. Diva versus the Yrel. I'm not sure who wins that matchup. I know Urel's just a bully all around, but then Breakwood picking up that.
Oh, the Tychus! I'm so excited. We're just talking about Tychus. He was touched today in the patch, his range there. Do you want to
Yeah,
talk
I
a
mean,
little
I
bit
think
about
Tychus
it?
was already a good pickup. Like, he absolutely shreds May's cryo freeze when she pops into that thing. He absolutely shreds that, and she almost gets no value
So
out of that whatsoever.
here's kind of what happened. His level 7 quarterback was moved to level 1, and then additionally he has a talent at level 1 called Press the Advantage, which is a passive talent and increases Tychus's basic attack range by 1, right at level 1 to grab. So Tychus kind of struggles with that range damage and having to be putting himself in awkward positions trying to shred tanks, so this might help a little bit grabbing that at level 1. Also, a little bit of adjustments to his talents at 4 and level 7 and his level 20. So, you know, quite a bit changed on him today. Something that we might look out for is to see if Tychus becomes a more meta hero with these changes.
Yeah, I like it. I like the guy, but I usually try to only pair him with the Garrosh. I know you and I were discussing a little bit that his his range really got to be up there, and he just gets punished for being out of position way too much.
Like I typically would see him picked into like a Diablo, something where the tank's going to be coming to you. You don't have to step up into danger. You can wait for him to dive your team and then shred him. But maybe that range talent is going to change the way he plays here, and I'm kind of waiting to see what Breakwood takes at level 1. But let's introduce these teams. On the left-hand side, we have the Careless Badgers with Breakwood playing Tychus, Coffee on the Diva, Kai Berries on Deckard, Tarisk, aka Kyle, playing the ETC, and Jira on the Orphea.
All right, and on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, 4 Tiny Dancers. We have Feldroth on the Zul'jin, Liddell on the Anduin, Silver on the May, Mr. Jack on Urel, and Fishing Queen on Chromie.
All right, both teams kind of hanging around in the mid for the moment here.
And we will see dash at 1, so increase the range of run and gun, just kind of get in and then maybe get some of those wiggles out for Breakwood. But looks like Coffee's rotating up in the top lane. Maybe you want to push this lane out before rotating here bottom. Or actually, you know what? I like the rotation here. They could go mid-bot. I know that's more of an aggressive rotation where you can slide. I'm going to be able to nice boop onto Mr. Jack there. All the damage coming out, but he's going to be able to sneak back through the wall and tap there.
And this is going to lead them right to be able to taking their turret here, as that is up in 3 seconds. So I'm expecting to see a rotation from these teams to start to pick those up here. You know what? I also like the Tychus pick up here because Urel sometimes can just really sit in your back line and bully the back. But with the Tychus, a little bit harder to get that, to pull that off.
Yeah, should be really well into this here, but their camp clear is a little sus. We're going to see May peeking this out there as we see Breakwood and Kai Berries taking a little bit longer to cap this one than they probably wanted to, but you know they're not missing any, so 3's coming online here, lagging a little behind 4 Tiny Dancers as they pick up their turret as well.
I'm just kind of waiting to see when these lanes are going to play out like we expect them to be. Jir getting caught in the root there is going to pop her Gladiator's Medallion and hit that heal potion from the Deckard and able to survive here. ETC just keeping an eye on these bushes and rotations, looking to catch someone here if they can. This is going to be May leading the way on that rotation though, so they're backing out, getting that soak bottom, and Diva Orphea catching in the mid and top.
Now, I was going to say, I do like, you know, the rotation mid and bot is not, it is the longer of the two, but the conveyor belts make it a little bit easier. But the mid bot, I like if you're going to try and invade the enemy's turret camp at the 1 minute mark. Yeah, we'll see probably both these teams just go back to the mid top here. We're going to see Coffee starting that heal camp there. Mr. Jack's going to catch him in the process, so I'm guessing maybe some pings or some comms coming out as the rest of the team rotates up here to maybe try and get a defense on this.
That is going down pretty quickly here, and they're just now showing up. Coffee on that point, capping it. They do manage to get the camp. Kai is stepping up to grab the... Oh, Coffee takes the biotic emitter right under from Kai. So he's going to hold on to that. And they're going to have a turret and a biotic emitter going into this this first objective phase, I should say. Siege Camp picked up on the side of Tiny Dancers, and it's also being grabbed right now by the Careless Badgers, so they're going to be a little bit late getting to this objective. Tiny Dancer is going to be able to get a little bit of channel onto this here. as they're just finishing up the camp now. D.Va also opting to stay top and start to clear that out, even get a little bit of tower damage while she's up there. They're not really in a rush, it looks like, to start this. It's going to be Zul'jin rotating up there to counter push that D.Va and the push she has. So a 4v4 on the objective if they go for it now.
Yeah. Well, on their way to sevens. I think they might be trying to catch sevens first. You know, they do have the heal camp in their possession, so a little bit of a positive in that stretch. 18 seconds on essentially both second rounds of turret camps here. So we're going to see Tiny Dancers maybe forego this, but they're going to have to watch camp top on the side of Careless Badgers because that's going to get a ton of advantage up there on that wall.
Yeah, 64% already over onto the side of Tiny Dancers. Careless Badgers have been able to cap this back and are starting to channel themselves, but they do have to deal with that camp, as you were saying. Here comes a Blizzard from Mei. That's going to catch the ETC in the root there. He's going to power slide through the Mei, try to get some damage onto that Zul'jin, but is now stuck in a little bit of an awkward position. Mech Explosion comes out from the D.Va. That's going to connect just onto the Chromie. The rest of the team managing to get out of the area of the Mech Explosion there.
Great placement by Coffee there to just kind of, you know, they got to either stand in to take all the damage and potentially die, or, you know, allow them some more space on their point to continue the channel here.
Turret is down now for the side of Tiny Dancers. We still have a turret, and turret's down now for the side of Careless Badgers as well. It does look like the Anduin getting caught out a little bit here. He is going to fall down, or Mei getting quite low, but she's able to back out, and this is going to be the first protector going over to the side of Careless Badgers. Didn't need to use that biotic emitter for this objective here, so they have that going forward if they need to use it in another team fight or even next objective.
All right, as they head up to the top per the usual here, but they do have both damage dealers in the protector, so not a whole heck of a lot of extra siege damage going to be able to come out here as they whittle away at this front wall. They have their sights set on this front tower as it gets changed. And speaking of towers, that was a change as well today as well.
Change
so they actually flip-flopped the shields and the health, and then now it does have shield regeneration. I believe it's 10%. And then I believe the towers do more damage as well. I think they upped that a little bit more.
You are correct there. They did make the towers do a little bit more damage, making, you know, tower diving something you want to think about a little bit more now. As well as that change to the healing fountains. Healing fountains have more shields than health, so they do regenerate it, which means if people try to go snipe them and they don't actually finish the fountain off, they will regen a lot of that shield back.
We did it, Reddit. We did it.
Level 10's now coming up online for Careless Badgers here in just a moment. We are going to see Mosh Pit being grabbed by the ETC. Stay a while and listen from the Deckard Cain. Rest of the members still holding off here. Micro missiles from the D.Va. Commandeer Odin being picked up by the Tychus. Orpheus still holding off on hers, but it is going to be that Eternal Feast. On the side of Tiny Dancers, they've just hit their level 10s now. We already saw Chromie with the Slowing Sands. There's going to be Snowball from Mei.
Arden coming onto Coffee here. He's going to be able to get out of there just fine. And the team will get away with the second biotic emitter there. So that's two of those for the next team fight here on Plan B. And it looks like maybe an invade, but the sight coming out from the Chromie. You don't see that talent very often, but the past couple days I've seen that a lot more than the W build.
All right, fight is going on over this turret camp. We have those also, the Eternal Feast too, to be dropped on this nice choke point. Will go beautifully here if they need it, and that does come out right now. Mei using her trait here, almost getting caught in that mech explosion. Mr. Jack, Yrel caught in the back line here. The turret is down, they need someone to pick it up, but there's so many items already over on the side of
Oh no, Breakwood.
Careless Badgers, unfortunately.
Dash out of there. Mr. Jack gonna come on. Does Kyle have the Q? Gonna hammer them away. Can he stun? Mr. Jack biotic emitter gonna get popped here. And Kyle doing such a great job zoning away Mr. Jack there. And then speaking of zoning away, that team fight, their entire team on Breaking Badgers. Kai's finding herself in a little bit of trouble, getting some of those nice wiggles. Gonna get on that treadmill, but I don't think it's gonna be able to get her out of there. But Deckard lives forever, and she has some of her own Capri Suns to drink on the way back to the base.
So many people evading death there. It was insane. Yeah, we saw, Breakwood got extremely low, then Deckard following up behind, almost gets picked off by the Chromie Q, but fortunately able to back off, and now they're just looking to catch the soap. Mid-wave pushed in pretty hard right now, but in terms of XP, both these teams pretty even. Turret still up on Kyle to be dropped for next objective here. And Siege Camp now getting capped by the side of Tiny Dancers.
Yep, they're going to get theirs, and then maybe I want to see how many biotic emitters were used. So, like you said, 1, 2. So yeah, 2 turrets. So they will have 2 turrets. So trading two heal cams for 2 turrets doesn't seem bad. It's about another 1.5 members on your team worth of damage here for this point.
Yeah, Orphea working away on that top siege camp as well, and they managed to grab that turret. We just saw that happen. So they're going to have 2 turrets going into this next objective, as you were saying. And they need to clear out this camp now from the side of Tiny Dancers. Tiny Dancers capping that much earlier than Careless Badgers, so a little bit of pressure in this top lane before they can contest the objective. D.Va and URL battling it out down here. We are going to see that rotation coming out from the Zul'jin, putting a little bit of damage onto the D.Va here. Some free stacks in the meantime. Those stacks currently sitting at 12 of the, now 13 of the 30 needed to complete his baseline quest.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair trade to the Rainer into the Zul'jin. I mean, Rainer's just an easier Zul'jin, but, Zul'jin getting stacks on the Triglav Protector, so if they happen to lose it, he will be able to shred it pretty well and just continue those stacks as the game goes on.
Careless Badgers managing to take that top point over. 38% channeled by Tiny Dancers, now caught up by Careless Badgers, crossing almost into 50% here channeled. Does look like Tiny Dancers are stepping up to contest this now, and Careless Badgers are going to give that over as the D.Va is still rotating and soaking. Level 13's online for both teams here. One thing to note here is that Zul'jin did go for the ensnare, so he does have that net to throw out to catch somebody if they're out of position.
He did go Guillotine as well, so they're going to have Guillotine and Light Bomb and the Chromie slowing stance here. But Chromie getting caught out there a little bit, but the Yida Faith going to come out, the Stasis going to come out as well. Dejira popping trade to get a little bit of healing done if possible. Mr. Jack going to come in. Great boot by ETC there to nullify the lead from Mr. Jack.
All right, channel still over on the side of Careless Badgers for now. We did see Tiny Dancers manage to get it to 68% before losing it again. But they're going to need to start to contest this here in just a moment. Gladiator's Medallion used by the ETC does power slide through the Urel, who uses her Ardent Defender, is absorbing damage here. Eternal Feast is out, unstoppable, popped by the Mei. We have the Urel kind of stuck in the back line now. Let's see if she's going to be able to get away. Coffee getting knocked out of his mech, kind of getting low health here, but the Triglav is up and available for him to jump into if he would like to. Odin is starting to dump some damage onto this top 4. Mei getting dangerously low, but she's going to be able to survive here, and no deaths in that fight over this top objective. But Careless Badgers managing to secure that Triglav. We do have ETC as well as the Orphea jumping into it now. We're going to siege down this top 4 and then maybe look to open up the map a little bit more.
Yeah, that team fight was all over the place. Great job from both healers. They're keeping their entire teams up, but we got that avalanche onto the ETC there. I thought I saw the animation for Mosh Pit go off, but unfortunately, no, it didn't even go on. They shortened cooldown there, so that is up and available here. So they need to be careful once he and Orphea pop out of this Triglav.
And here's what you're saying about Zul'jin being able to just get some stacks for free on the Triglav Protector when they push with it. It does look like they want to try and open up this bottom lane for next objective, get down that healing fountain, potentially take that away, and get a little bit of an advantage going into the next objective Triglav fight. Unfortunately, Triglav getting quite low, and everyone's going to pop out in just a second here. Still 2 turrets on the side of Careless Badgers to use as well. They really like holding on to those toys.
Yeah, they are precious, yeah.
They're going to go pick up another one here. Making that 3 turrets. ETC scouting the camp of Tiny Dancers as well. Rest of the team, I mean, they're aware what's going over here, but they're still doing that camp first before coming for the invade. They have that level 16.
Coffee has the bomb. That's probably the call here. He's got to pop it here at any point there, Coffee. Nope, they're going to grab that here, but Kyle kind of getting stuck in there, getting hammered back into his team, but not enough damage to take him down there. Coffee getting low as well, holding on to that D.Va bomb as well. I'm wondering if he went, I guess if he keeps the talent here, if he went to increase damage, if he holds on to that bad boy.
So, I don't know if you caught that there, but ETC getting caught in the ensnare from Zul'jin, but also a time trap at the same time, so it saved him from taking the ult. Like, Zul'jin ulted him, but he didn't take any damage because he was in a Chromie time trap as well. So kind of a little counter synergy going on from the side of Tiny Dancers there. We're going to see the Biotic Emitter going over to the side of The Careless
Somebody grab
Badgers.
the
Somebody,
turret.
they have so
Yeah,
many
the
items
pigs
now.
coming
It's
out.
just
Right, it's just like trading them. It's
Yeah.
like
they're running out of
cards when you're
space
kids.
here. Their
Well, you know what? A
storage
lot of
is
people,
full.
I don't know what. I just thought about this. A lot of people move the medallion, not the medallion, yeah, the Gladiator's medallion to their F key. If they haven't rebound the toy hotkey, they may not be able to put them down.
Oh, do you think that maybe that's what's happened?
That could be, because if they unbind, yeah, because I think it's like
Oh, my binds are all messed up. My 6 button doesn't even exist. I don't know where it is. It doesn't
Oh,
exist.
wow. Yeah, I just move it to 1, and then like you
Yeah,
said, unless
every
if I
game
play
that's
that
what I
hero,
have to do
yep.
too. Here goes
but
May
let's
going
see.
for that engage. Gladiator's medallion used by the Orphea there. She's looking to get to survive. She drops that turret before she falls, though. She is going to get picked off. Arden Defender being popped by the Urel to survive here. May going for the engage. Lands that snowball onto the ETC. Sends him into the back line. He still has that biotic emitter to drop if he needs to, but he's looking pretty healthy so far. It is Urel that's getting quite low. Diva Mech being thrown out there. That's going to secure the kill onto the Urel. Now the chase is on for the May. Breakwood going for her. Going to back off and rejoin her team as May is out of there. 1 for 1 in this engage.
Yeah, not a bad trade there at all. I think that Tiny Dances were looking for that pick onto the ETC there, but just that counter slide out of there, and then just all that damage getting chunked out onto May kind of left them without a frontliner there for a small amount of time.
Yeah, no, I've rebounded all my keys, so my F key is actually my mount.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so I don't have to reach all the way down to V. So then Rhaegar was like the camp guy back in the day, and I was playing a lot of him. I got sick of having to reach all the way down to V to mount when I was doing camps just to chomp the camp, so I just put it to F. I don't know.
Makes sense to me.
I like it.
Yep, the only thing I really did wonky was just the A move I put onto the spacebar and then put it on release.
I also have my trait is on T, like any activatable trait abilities.
I forget who I was talking to. Somebody else said I think it was Big Paradox. I think Paradox said he was doing that. I think he was on the podcast, on the Into the Nexus podcast. But I use that that taunt or that spray is far used too much for me to change that now at this point.
All right. A little bit of channel for both teams here. 45% on Careless Badgers. Now Tiny Dancer is taking back the point, or trying to, with already 23% channeled. A lot of items still over on the side of Careless Badgers. And we're going to see Diva.
That mid-port there.
I mean, Tiny Dancers need to force something here if they want to try and contest this objective, because level 20s are quickly going to come online for the side of Careless Badgers. They also have vision of that Diva. It's a 5v4 in the bottom lane. There's really no reason for them to not try to do something here. But instead, we're going to have the Urel breaking off to soak.
Yeah, try and catch up the 20s. They do have 20s. I'd like to see them push into bottom here. I think Coffee doesn't need to be in the top lane here, but we're going to see the 4-man. Just, you know, that's what that's what Tiny Dance is expecting here, is just having one person channel the point and maybe knock down this front fort so they can take the keep and try and get you know, push for the win here if they can get any picks.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see Tiny Dancers try to do something here. They had vision of Coffee. They knew it would have been a 5v4 in their favor in the bottom lane, and level 20s weren't online yet for the side of Careless Badgers. It seemed like the perfect time to try and do something and contest this objective, but instead they just kind of hung back and let Careless Badgers grab that, and that's going to cost them their bottom fort, potentially a keep here, as this is a level 20 Triglav, and they don't have 20s yet.
Oh, and the Tor Blast, I love that pickup right there, but then poor ETC's going to get avalanche behind enemy lines, and just the damage is just coming out onto him. We're going to see Eternal Feast getting dropped, and we're going to see turrets getting dropped there as well, and that is going to be a 1-for-0 trade as 20s come online here for Tiny Dancers, but the heat is still on. They want this final keep. First keep of the game. Coffee does have bomb up there that goes, but he's getting chunked out. He might not be able to be long for this world, but he's not able to get back into the mech there as we see the chase for the final 3 members of Careless Badgers here.
Turret getting dropped now by the Decker. He does pop that Gladiator's medallion, looking to get out of there, but unfortunately the guillotine coming out from the Zul'jin, picking off Decker Kane. 3 members now down on the side of Careless Badgers. They're going to go for this invade onto the turret camp on the side of Careless Badgers, as all 5 members are still up on the side of Tiny Dancers. So
Right, yep, they are going to go bottom here.
Well.
Yeah, I would like mid's already pushed out. That's where the next objective is going to be. I'd like to see that maybe that's might be where they rotate here after they take this front fort.
Brightfoot still has a turret on her to drop down if she needs to. But I think this fort's going down and they need to be a bit careful about getting caught out here. I imagine they'll go for this turret now. Still 2 members down on the side of Careless Badgers, so this is theirs for the taking. Zul'jin's still not quite finished his baseline quest, sitting at 28 of the 30 stacks needed to complete that, but he's also taken that level 7 stacks on the cleave, so that's sitting at 41 stacks right now, which is like I mean, I don't think people finish that quest ever. It goes to 500 stacks, maybe on ARAMs.
Yeah, it does. I have done it, but it gets kind of bonkers there. But you know, we see them rotating up on the heel camp, but they're going to trade. Yes, I like this play a lot here as we head down to this keep. It's pushed out a little bit, but maybe not. The call's going to be backing up. They did finish that up to see, maybe try and get some vision here.
Yeah, no keeps down yet in this game, and we are at level 21 for both of these teams. So, I mean, structurally, Careless Badgers a bit ahead, but all in all, pretty close here and could still be anyone's game. Because as we get into this late game, these Tree Glob Protectors start to really pump out the damage.
All right, and the rotation going to come down here on the coffee. He is showing on his way, trying to pressure this keep a little bit more, but the team is not too far off here. Here comes Tarask from the back, getting the slide onto Mr. Jack there to cancel that jump, or what would be the engage onto coffee there.
Tiny Dancers now just looking to clear out that bottom lane. They have that siege camp that they cap top, pushing in that Careless Badgers are going to have to clear up in a moment here. Maybe wait a bit so they're not getting caught overextended clearing it up, but we're going to have to see what happens. It looks like ETC is going to set up in the bush over here. There is a time trap, and Chromie does pop that, so they're aware that Tiny Dancers knows that he's there.
Great slide coming out on the ETC there to avoid the jump coming out there. As we see these teams try and position, we're gonna see Careless Badgers rotate on this camp here and have that start pushing. As we're 17 seconds away, we are a minute away from that turret camp, but Careless Badgers turret camp is going to be up in 30 seconds here.
Yeah, we do have 2 turrets still on the side of the Careless Badgers. Tiny Dancers have a turret and a biotic emitter for this next objective. And their turret's coming up in 45 seconds on the side
I
of...
like the aggressive rotation here.
Yeah.
Not quick enough to catch anybody there. So that might be the call here. Maybe they have to worry about that top camp pushing. So they may just, I thought maybe they're going to go and take this keep and really just try and end this if they get the Tree Glob Protector.
Not going for the keep, but at least clearing up that bottom wave so that minions can start to pressure it. They do have those periodic katas spawning in, and that wave going down there right now does have a catapult on it. Coffee just kind of all over the map, split pushing this game, really just, you know, sieging it up and creating havoc on the map and pressure on the map for Tiny Dancers to deal with. Needs to be a bit careful, though. He does not have his mech explosion, and you know, if you can get on a diva and pop her out of that, she's pretty easy to kill past that point. That is Careless Badgers picking up a 3rd turret for this fight here. The turret is up on the side of Tiny Dancers if they would like to go for another one here, but there's already almost 60% channel for Careless Badgers for this objective. So they're going to show up and start to contest this objective. Time trap going down from the Chromie. Going to catch the ETC in there. Root followed up by the ult from Zul'jin, and he's just absolutely deleted. Eternal Feast coming out now, trying to pump some damage onto the side of Tiny Dancers. The biotic emitter is dropped. The only person getting low here is Mr. Jack on that Urel, but he's going to be able to heal up. Still has an Ardent Defender to use as well, so he's not even worried. Here comes Coffee on the backline flank. We do have the Chromie popping her stasis to try and survive. Stay a while. Listen coming out. They're going to get that counter pick onto the Anduin, followed up by the Chromie. Now Urel getting quite low. She didn't use her ult there. Zul'jin going, you know, trying to run away here. Coffee chasing him down. May kind of stuck in the back line here. Odin pumping some damage onto her. Orphea trying to step up to finish her off. Blizzard comes out to slow her, though, and she is looking to get away here. Coffee's, you know, still another body to get through, and unfortunately
there it is.
not.
I was going to say, I don't know if the comms were there for the reverse flank there from Coffee here, but we're going to see them push. Kai's just going to finish that Tree Glob and run it down here at 95%. But as I say, Kira getting really low. Not Kira, but Orphea there getting a little low, taking some of those tower shots there, and not enough minions to kind of do anything here. But Feldros getting the damage done onto Coffee here, but the bomb is available. You can probably finish off that keep here if he wanted, but we're going to see Breakwood and Kai Berries man this Triglav. Protector 23 minutes in, you know, varying levels of comeback times. Anowin's up in 7 seconds, Chromie up in 9 seconds as well, and Urel in 10 here. So we may not see an all-out end here, but that might be the call as ETC is rotating back in here with Mosh Pit available and Eternal Feast up in 30 seconds if it lasts that long.
Yeah, what a crazy team fight. I mean, we saw ETC getting picked off so fast to start out that fight, but somehow Careless Badgers down their tank still able to turn around the fight in their favor there and getting the counter picks that they needed and to secure this Triglav Protector. They do take down that bottom keep, but it's not a core call coming out from them just yet. They're still down Orphea, and their damage is in the Triglav right now. So I don't know what they're going to do here. Let me see bottom. Diva's getting caught out. She does pop that mech, but unfortunately it doesn't go off in time for her to get back into the mech, so they get the pick on a Diva as well. I mean, we're level 20. What are they? We're waiting for the 25 spike to come here?
I think so, but I think both of these teams just playing really careful, not wanting to essentially throw the game by a bad core call here. But we're going to see Mr. Jack try and leap back onto the ETC, but you know, Ping's coming out onto that Mei, looking for that avalanche, maybe push the team back in. But we're going to engage onto Lydell here, going to be able to heal himself back up. The laser beam's going to come out. Not much getting done here with this, like we said, level 23, 24-minute Triglav Protector. So great defense on the side of Tiny Dancers there, you know, only having Zul'jin up after that team fight.
Yeah, ETC going in for that power slide, but it doesn't connect onto anyone. Members of Tiny Dancer is going to be able to back off here. Urel has been clearing out that bottom lane, so they don't have to worry about the core damage. Biotic Emitter up now. It does look like Careless Badgers are going to make a play for that here. And I just wanted to say a quick thank you, Sergeant Scoops, for that raid. Really appreciate it. Hope you had a fantastic stream. Woo! Big snowball coming out here. That's going to catch 4 members of the Careless Badgers. And let them Tiny Dancers come in and contest this camp. They're going to grab that Biotic Emitter. Eternal Feast comes out to zone them off, but it doesn't matter. They grabbed it. They got the camp, got what they needed. They're out of there, retreating now. I love that play. What a big avalanche.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Taras getting lucky there on the ETC, then guillotine and not connecting there, or we would have saw that Kyle get ground up in that guillotine again for the second team fight in a row.
Mei getting chunked
really low.
Yeah, Popsy unstoppable. We have the Mosh coming out though to keep her locked down and finish her off. ETC getting quite low for that though. Breakwood also getting a little risky. The Zul'jin ult being popped there. Unfortunately not able to secure the kill onto ETC. Now they're down their tank on the side of Tiny Dancers. Urel trying to do what she can to zone off the team. She does pop that Ardent Defender. Is going to be absorbing damage. Leap of Faith goes out to save her here. But the chase is on. ETC is looking for that flank here, trying to get the power slide, potentially to secure another kill here. And Urel getting quite low. Orphea is going to be able to stick on her for a second, but fortunately that time trap coming out just in time to save Urel.
Yeah, Breakwood has that turret here. Mei is dead for another 30 seconds. I would like to see a core call here. We got lanes pushed out in the top here, so maybe they're just going to go for that second keep here.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, kind of hard to end a game, you know, with only one member down, and she is back up in 10 seconds, and they're doing a fantastic job of kind of defending and pushing them off, trying to finish here. Still all these items on both teams. Still a turret and a Biotic Emitter on the side of Tiny Dancers, a turret on the side of Careless Badgers. It does look like they're going to go for this keep now. They're just, Careless Badgers are just, you know, whittling away Tiny Dancers, making this match as long as possible. Do have that avalanche coming out, but it doesn't connect onto any members of the Careless Badgers. They do manage to secure that top keep, and now they're looking at the mid.
Yeah, and I mean, we had Breakwood took big red button, so she is her own little mini Triglav here as she sets her sights on this last keep here. But we're going to see that, you know, fearlessly just back away, live to fight another day as we see the second objective. I guess this would be the fifth of the game?
Yeah. I mean,
math,
how
fifth
often do you see a game go to a second B objective on Volskaya?
Not very often. You know, usually, you know, 20s come online on the third one, and then usually that is usually the end of the game. Maybe the middle one if there's a good defense on that third and final point there. But yeah, this is turning out into an all-out brawl here, I think.
Yeah, turret camp up on the side of Tiny Dancers in just a moment here, so they're going to pick up another turret, and they're going to have 2 turrets and a biotic emitter to contest this top objective. The bruiser, or the siege camp on the side of Careless Badgers, pushing in top right now, and they do not have that keep there anymore. Biotic emitter back up in the top here if the teams want to fight over that as well. Already 54% channeled on the objective. Snowball coming out here, catching that D.Va. She has her mech explosion, though. Can they get her out of the mech to kill her before she can get back in again? And she does go down tower. It looked like helping to secure that kill there, but May getting the final hit onto her D.Va, getting picked off here. 90% channeled on this protector. Can they make it in time to stop the channel before Tiny Dancers get it, or before Careless Badgers get it?
It is not. The tour bus is up. He's going to slide out onto the rest of the team here. Mr. Jack getting a little bit low, but they're going to walk this Triglav Protector. Hopefully they just ignore the team to stay a while unless it's going to come out. Silence. Oh, she took the level 20 upgrade. I love that upgrade as well. Everyone is blind and silence. We're going to see the biotic emitter get dropped here, and everyone's turning their sights onto that mate. She's going to be able to icing her way out of all of that mess here as they turn the defense onto this Triglav. But we have a level 25, 30-minute Triglav Protector marching onto this keep here, and that's going to be the call.
Turret being dropped by the Chromie here. They are doing their best to try and defend this Triglav. It is being shredded pretty quickly, but unfortunately, level 25 Triglav is just going to absolutely delete this core in a matter of moments here.
Oh my
and this
goodness.
will be game
Mr.
number one going over to the side of Careless Badgers. Whew. That was
what I thought it was, that was a great play there, unfortunately for Tiny Dancers there, but catching Coffee, a little forward there, but having Urel be able to jump in and hammer the team away so they could actually just isolate the D.Va there with that avalanche and then the mech bomb. It was a fantastic play, and then unfortunately, like you said, took a little bit too long to get to reverse the channel on that Triglav. But what a team play by Tiny Dancers there.
It was a 30-minute game coming out for game number 1 of this series. And look at the deaths. For a 30-minute game, only 10-8 in deaths. I mean, all in all, a fairly close game. I think there was a couple things that I would have liked to see differently. I really wish that Tiny Dancers, again, forced that fight before level 20s were hit on the side of Careless Badgers, because they didn't have their D.Va. It would have been a 5v4. I feel like they could have turned the game there. I don't know. I felt like Tiny Dancers were just maybe a little bit too passive in their play style, personally.
See, that's the thing kind of with, the nice thing is they have Urel. So Urel can be the engager, and then May, I think May's best position is kind of going to be like a disengage tank or a catch tank, because her peel's not that great. So, usually, if she goes forward, the team usually gets jumped on. So, Urel can be the engager for that team. And then, if ETC slides in or what have you, or D.Va, she can be back there to kind of bully them away and snowball them away.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. This will mean that Tiny Dancers get to choose between first pick or map pick here. I don't see any lobbies up quite yet. So we'll just stick around here, check out these talents real quickly as well. What did you think about taking the Zul'jin ult, Guillotine over Tazdingo?
No deaths onto that Zul'jin, so I can't say that, Tazdingo would have got too much value there. But, it is just a chunk of damage. I think we saw it get used in, that May, the freeze light bomb, just a lot of damage coming out there with Chromie too. Like we saw just ETC just kind of get obliterated at one point.
Yeah, I really like it paired with the level 13 talent too. You catch someone in that ensnare and you can just kind of blow them up, especially with the Chromie there to back you up as long as she doesn't time trap them.
That's true. That is true. But I think it was there. And then the Chromie build here, I'm going to jot this down. Maybe take a screenshot here or something to try. I usually go one way or the other, Q build or W build. W build kind of being the go-to currently. I didn't see if that got touched again, so I think she's still powerful there. But yeah, seeing that Vision, I think Vision in at least the higher leagues is on the Lunara as well. It's just needed more.
I have been seeing that level 1 Time Walker's Pursuit getting picked more often since the nerf to W, so I'm not too surprised by it. But we do have the next lobby up here. We're gonna get into this next game. Let's see. It does look like Tiny Dancers has opted to go with first pick here, as the map is picked by Careless Badgers. Whew. Why am I so loopy tonight with these names? I don't know what it is.
You got that. Shoot. I don't even. I'm not lost of words. I can't even think of words. Yeah, absolutely. It's just too many games. Like I said, there's so much going on, and I feel absolutely terrible because there's so many teams this season in NGS, and I want them all to be casted, and I just want to show all of their talents. From Storm all the way down to E Division. But yeah, you're just getting that midpoint of the season. It's just game after game after game. It feels, and you kind of get a little burnt out there, but. No, you get games like this, and it's just absolute blast.
Let's catch you guys up if you missed what happened in game number 1. That one was picked by the side of Tiny Dancers. We went to Volskaya Foundry. The win picked up by Careless Badgers. A nice 30-minute long game here for us to cast. We are ready to get into game number 2. This time, it looks like Tiny Dancers has opted for first pick option, giving that pick over to Careless Badgers, and we're going to Cursed Hollow. Readies are out in chat. I'm going to let them know that we're ready, and we can get into game number 2 here.
Now this
loopy stream. I love a good chromey loop.
Heck yeah! not seeing that picked up, but that would have been a great combination there with the Zul'jin as well, knowing they're going to get come back there. So I'm wondering if we have an Abathur player, good Abathur map here on either side.
I
would think Breakwood, but I'm not sure.
I've never seen Breakwood play Abathur. Maybe Jira? Maybe? I mean, Breakwood plays some things that, an Abathur is quite good to hat and clone, though, so I wouldn't put it past their team, but it is going to be the Anna band coming out from Tiny Dancers to kick off the draft here.
Yeah, one of Kai's strongest, pairing it well with, I know Breakwood loves to play the nano boosted Kerrigan, but healing reduction got nerfed a smidge on the grenade on Ana today as well. And the Garrosh band, nobody likes to be displaced, kind of thrown into fire, basically.
Kerrigan was another one that was touched today. Some of her less picked talents getting a little bit of buffs to them. And they do have a Kerrigan player on their team tonight.
Yeah, she is my guilty pleasure when it comes to quick match. I'll just pick up Kerrigan. I just enjoy her so much. I was looking at the talents. I'm not sure if it'll sway me personally, but then again, I am a silver mine player. It could go over my head if something's now broken or not, but I still think her normal build. It's probably depending, but the typical build is still my favorite.
It's going to be the Sylvanas locked in as the first pick on the side of Tiny Dancers here. We did see that Diablo Samaru also banned out in the draft. And once again, D.Va getting picked up first by the side of Careless Badgers. Though this time, it's going to be Jira locking that D.Va in instead of Coffee. Breakwood locking in Greymane here, which is one of those hat targets I was kind of referring to.
Yeah, but I mean, even a hat target onto the D.Va, if Coffee plays Abathur here, I think it could... Both of those heroes could just be deservingly well of a hat, and then come level 20 getting the double hats could just mean trouble for Tiny Dancers here. But we're going to see May getting picked up here again for silver, as well as the Tyrande. So just, need those auto attacks.
That's a healer we don't see too often, so I'm excited to see what they do with that.
I'm not too sure here. I'd love to see, if she can step up and get the auto attacks, which May can allow her, but the peel, she can get jumped on by that D.Va and the Greymane. So maybe a double support here. We could see maybe an Uther, if not somebody or a Rhaegar getting picked up here for the Bloodlust talent.
Now, ETC getting banned out from Kyle here. We did see him pick that up in game number 1, and I think he's pretty confident on his ETC as well. I've seen him play him quite a bit. So I wonder what tank that leaves the side of Careless Badgers with. I guess Joanna?
I think it could be a Johanna, but I wouldn't mind seeing a Mal'Ganis here as well. I know he's kind of in a weird spot, but being able to get back and sleep at Tyrande. But there we go. We're going to see the Anduin getting picked up this time for Kai Berries and Tarask or Kyle on the Johanna here. Maybe Light Bomb, Falling Sword combo, but Light Bomb just works in well with Johanna, even with the Blessed Shield.
And the Light Bomb falling sword combo is definitely something that you kind of need to work on before throwing it into games like this, because it has a little bit of weird timing going on, and you can easily miss the stun on light bomb if you don't practice it. But this team I feel is pretty practiced at this point, so maybe we'll see it. It's gonna be the Deathwing and Thrall getting picked up here. Deathwing also had a little bit of changes today.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what they were off the top of my head. Now, Coffee here, now they do have a good counter already picked up for the Greymane here. I don't want to see them jump too much into the percent base damage. I'd like to see a mage here. Kel'Thuzad is still on the table, but so is Alrak. I know he plays both of those heroes. But picking up that Cassia, I'm not mad at it at all. The blinds have to come in, stop the cooldown reduction on Tyranda's, healing, and then she's just all around good as well.
So if I remember correctly, they are trying to make his forms more balanced. That players were favoring the Destroyer form or over Worldbreaker. So they increase the cost of Incinerate, but reduce the cost of Lava Burst in the base. So they're trying to balance out and let players kind of switch between forms more often instead of just playing in one form the entire time. They also have adjustment to the level 4 talent Infernus. It increases the damage of Molten Flame against enemy heroes by 25%, but it increases the bonus damage to 70% when Molten Flame is cast when he has 75% energy or higher. So like a lot of damage going out on that ability.
Yeah. I don't play him much. I might have to pick him back up, but usually I find myself going Worldbreaker form just for the stun, I think, more often than not.
Well, here we are, game number 2 of the series. We have the Careless Badgers on the left-hand side, up 1 game. Kaiberry's playing the Anduin, Breakwood on Greymane, Jira playing the Cassia, Terrace, also known as Kyle Ferguson, on that Joanna, Coffee on the Diva.
All right, and on the red side for the Tiny Dancers, we have Matrium on that famed Tyrande, Lydell on the Deathwing, Silver picking up the May again, Feldroth on Thrall, and Fishing Queen on Sylvanas.
See that Owl coming out, hitting a couple members on the side of Careless Badgers. That was healed up. And now everyone's sitting around in this mid lane waiting for that first game brawl. Condemned
now, I'm
coming
curious.
out.
I know. Well, Scrub coming out. We're going to see the stun coming out onto Jira. We're going to get the swap. So we're going to actually see Coffee back on that Diva and Jira on that Cassia. But I'm curious if we will see I forget what the talent is, but the from Johanna, blind targets from her take an additional damage. I think will work well with the Cassia for sure, as well as the Greymane.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of here. Tyrande needs to get her autos off to really get the heals pumped out, so I think it's not a bad pickup here as well. I mean, aside from the whole pairs with Cassia, that does extra damage there, so. I'm just peeking at top lane here, watching this Diva Thrall matchup. Diva getting quite chunked already, gonna have to tap that fountain. Well, Falendroth looks like he's not too excited about clearing the wave necessarily, but more dumping that damage onto Diva here.
Yeah, unfortunately with Thrall in the early game, just spamming that Q to get those pokes for the Rolling Thunder to get those auto attacks in, you kind of run out of mana really quickly. And, the nice thing about Diva is you don't have to worry about mana.
Both teams opting to pick up their Bruiser Camp here. We already saw Tiny Dancers grab that with the Sylvanas and now rotate down to their Siege Giants. But on the side of Careless Badgers, it is going to be Greymane and Kai on the Anduin grabbing the Bruiser Camp here and already had that Giants pushing in the top lane. Objective is spawning in the top. So I really like the way that Tiny Dancers are grabbing their camps here. This is going to be their Giants getting capped as close to objective as possible, which means they're going to be sieging in the bottom lane while objective is being fought over in the top. Too, with the Deathwing, is they're going to be able to hang around bottom for much longer, and he can fly up and join, so he might even be able to siege down bottom lane quite a bit, or force a body to have to be down there. Do you have that Sylvanas banshing into the back line and almost getting caught out of position there by Careless Badgers, but she was able to make it out. Sylvanas build here, going for that overwhelming affliction. So she is doing that percent damage onto Careless Badgers in these fights once she gets those 3 stacks onto them.
Yeah, just a lot of blinds coming out. I mean, both, like you said, both these, Sylvanas herself, as well as the Toronto want to get those auto attacks off. So they have quite the disruption from Careless Badgers in that aspect.
Yeah, well, Thrall, Sylvanas, and Tyrande all looking to do quite a bit of auto attack damage. So the blind's definitely a good pickup for the side of Careless Badgers here. Does look like we're going to see a fight over here. Mech is popped by the D.Va. Stun comes out from the Deathwing. He's going to be able to pop back into his mech and start to do a little bit of damage. Cassia opting to stay bottom here, so this is a 5v4 in favor of Tiny Dancers if they really want to push that. May going in for the slide here. She does drop that Blizzard, doesn't manage to catch anyone here. D.Va getting quite low, but Coffee now out of position is going to get knocked out of his mech. They're looking to secure that kill. Leap of Faith comes out onto him, but unfortunately they get the pick onto Coffee. Tiny Dancers having him back up, give that first objective trib over to the side of Tiny Dancers.
Yeah, and then just JR down here on the bottom. Cassia doing her super secret siege damage, going to charge strikes, but the ping's coming out, some rotate bottom. But she did get a fort wall with that, and Sevens, catching that soak as well, so getting a half a level lead for her team as well, and only foregoing, one kill for the team. Not a bad trade, but finding herself in a little bit of trouble here. She's gonna be okay.
I mean, here's the thing: is you have a Sylvanas that's going kind of auto attack build here, and she's got tons of armor. She's been moving around there. She's been keeping her level 30, her 30 stacks of armor up there, so not a ton of damage that's going to be dumped onto her if she does start to get attacked by Sylvanas here. It's part of the reason why she's able to sustain in the lane against 2 people right now. We do see a rotation coming out from Thrall though, so it does look like she might be getting caught here, and her armor getting dropped as she stops for a moment in that bush. She does pop her oh my goodness, Surge of Light.
Avoidance. Yep. Oh, that's a talent, Surge of Light on the avoidance stacks. You're right, yes.
Yes. But yeah, we see the Cassie getting picked off. Trib is now up and available to be grabbed here. Again, Tiny Dancer is kind of looking more favorable as they have picked off that member of Careless Badgers, but they have a big rotation coming down. It kind of looks like they're maybe just going to push this bottom instead of contesting objective. Coffee getting quite low, but he'll probably be able to get his mech explosion off before he has to worry to get it knocked out of mech, and we are going to see Tarisk able to grab that trib here while the distraction was going on top.
All right, and pretty evenly matched up. No kills on the side of Careless Badgers here, but it is halfway to 10 to halfway to 10. One channel for both teams, as well as a fort wall down for both teams as well. And I think we're in for another long one here, Jazzy.
It's starting to feel like it, isn't it? We do have camps up on the side of Tiny Dancers if they want to get those out before objective. It does look like Tyrande Thrall going to pick up that Bruiser camp on the side of Tiny Dancers, pushing that in the mid. Objective is spawning on the side of Careless Badgers near their Bruiser camp. They do have Greymane and Anduin picking up their camp here. Level 10's online for them now. Level 10's shortly here in a moment for the side of Tiny Dancers. Do have Cursed Bullet from the Greymane, Light Bomb from the Anduin, Blessed Shield from the Joanna, Ball Lightning from the Cassia, and Micro Missiles being picked up by the D.Va. I think they might just be giving this. They're a bit far to contest.
Yeah, I think so. As I said, the camp timing on that one wasn't quite the greatest, but they're going to be able to stall maybe just a little bit with some arrows. The Skyfall being able to get picked up here by the Deathwing as well, so they can get picked up as well. As we see them rotate and set their sights up top, we have Felondroth and Black Arrows coming out from Sylvanas here. Pressure that. We're going to see Harask go up there to deal with them a little bit. Okay, that's what. Yes. So that's what they need to do. Stay far apart as possible.
No, they're playing this so well. No, because they're creating so much space for the Sylvanas and Thrall to siege up top right now. Deathwing's just dropping these little meteors from above, and the owls from Tyrande coming out. They, without even showing up to this objective, they really stalled it out for quite a long time here.
All right, and Blessed Shield coming out from Johanna there to save herself. But the Pop the Unstoppable to get there as well. Not sure if the tap is up. We're going to see the rest of the team rotate up here, but not in time. Fishing Queen and Feldroth will get out with their life here. And I would like to see a boss play here from the side of Careless Badgers if they can muster it. to kind of put Tiny Dancers, between a rock and a hard place on whether to, go to objective or to defend a boss play, especially with the Jira. Oh my gosh, the trait coming out here in the bottom lane, taking tower shots, but getting all that poke out onto the Mei. Got some nice wiggles there. She does have all of that armor, but she's going to have to cross Mei's path here to get out of the way. Now, she does have the healing as long as her armor is up there, I believe. Oh, nope, she took Ring of the Leech up there. I'm sorry, but she's going to be able to get out of there safely.
Yeah, I do love Cassia for the diversity in her builds. There's a couple different talents that you can see Cassia's go at level 4, and it kind of changes how you play her. And it makes her a little bit more fun and exciting to watch. So we do have that level 4 talent, Ring of the Leech, getting picked up by Cassia, meaning she heals off blinded targets.
All right, and Coffee a little bit slow on the rotation here. We're going to see Kyle try to delay the rotations here. We're going to see the ult coming out from, oh my gosh, and we're going to see just a couple ults coming out there from both sides there, and then we're going to get the pick onto the Johanna there. We're going to see Breakwood and Kai Berries kind of try and get out of here, but nothing really to stop them. But we're going to see the root coming out onto Breakwood. The stun going to come out as well as the icing, and the boot back onto Breakwood, and down goes Greymane. But Coffee just using those missiles to try and chunk down Sylvanas there a little bit, but he's going to go back to the rotations here. And we can see a boss invade here along with this channel here by Tiny Dancers.
Yeah, and now Trib's 2-2 here. Like you said, they're going to make this game as long as possible. Once again, it seems really playing this out. D.Va getting chased down here. Does have that mech explosion up and available to use if he wants it. But he's going to be able to walk away here. There is pings for the boss now on the side of Tiny Dancers. But Careless Badgers kind of hanging around are going to get vision of what's going on here and are, ready for the invade.
All right, so Kyle did go Zealous Glare there. That is the talent I couldn't think of. But the blinds last a second longer, and as long as Johanna stays connected and the auto attack, whoever she did blind extends it for a second up to another 3 seconds. So that's just more time for Cassie to get that bonus damage in.
All right, Tiny Dancers backing off that boss. Don't want to have to lose a fight right before this important trip that's spawning in right now. Coffee does
it's
have
up now.
that.
We're going to see the Jira still mid here, and it's going to be a 4v5, and they know it. Down drops Deathwing, but he's going to get the bullet right to the face here and get chunked down to about, a third health gone.
Jira flanking on the side here, getting a lot of damage out onto the Thrall and the Sylvanas with their ball lightning. D.Va getting quite low. He has that mech explosion still up. He's going to throw that into the back line of Tiny Dancers. Mei getting caught in a bit of a position, looking to try and interrupt the Breakwood, but she is able to get that channel, and this will be the first curse going over in favor of Careless Badgers. Chase is on now for the Mei. Does look like she's going to go down here. Coffee managing to secure the kill here. The rest of the team members getting chased down by the Bruiser camp. Thrall stopping to look to defend mid, but he needs to be a bit careful. Might get caught out. And here comes the Cataclysm from the Deathwing. I don't think we've seen him use this yet, and this is a talent he's had all game, right?
Yeah, I think it's like, what is it, 2 minutes? I think 2.5 minutes or something like that. I think it's on cooldown the minute the game starts, but I like this rotation down here onto the bot. Try and open up this bot lane as a win condition here with a boss if they do get any more kills here. Or this map is pretty snowball. You can get any more kills here. It is pre-16, so death timers are a little bit low, but Coffee stepping up to that key, trying to get some of the damage onto that Tyrande. But a Yeet of Fate going to come out to save Coffee out of that as well, but Kyle going to get rooted by popping that unstoppable trait, and they're going to get out of there.
Yeah, look at the pressure top lane. Those Siege Giants still pushing in here, so they need to go back and clean up that top lane. Boss call probably coming out now from the side of Careless Badgers. Looks like they're rotating over to start that right now, and that is what's going to happen. And now a little bit of an XP lead going over in favor of Careless Badgers in this game. It seemed like it was going to be a slow one, but now the aggression is on. They managed to take down all forts and one keep. So far in this match, no structures lost of their own here, and the boss is going straight to core here, so there's going to have to be a defense and maybe a double boss call coming out from Careless Badgers. Or
yeah, I don't know why they didn't rotate onto their own, but we're going to see Coffee jump in on this. We're going to see that was Wailing Arrow come out, but that is not the truth.
And if
Coffee is not done yet.
If they find the picks here, they can end the game. Here comes the Deathwing dropping into the back line. We do have that Cursed Bullet coming out. Mei getting focused here. They do find the pick onto her. Tyrande getting low as well with a boss coming down this bottom lane. They could just look to end the game here. 3 members down on the side of Tiny Dancers. This is not going to be the long game we were expecting. This looks like it's going to be a core call coming out for Careless Badgers.
Yep, Coffee's going to go up there, and down goes Deathwing, and like you said, unfortunately, the nice thing about Curse Hollow here, it is a bit snowbally here. Before members down, I think we're going to see the GGs coming out here, but 80 seconds left on this core, and we're going to get that quick 2-0 for Careless Badgers here. GG's.
I guess they're making up for last game going so long.
I was gonna say we started at 9:30. The first draft, I think, lasted about a half hour with all the weird things going on with the lobby and the game itself, and we're able to end that one in about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, we have another game coming up in a long 40 minutes here. Maybe me and you can break down the patch notes, kind of cover that in the meantime while we're waiting for the next game. But this is going to be the series closed out by Careless Badgers, winning it 2-0. And a neat little thing that we mentioned at the beginning here, this is also their Heroes Lounge match. They decided to wrap them all up into one. So Careless Badgers winning in NGS and also Heroes Lounge for tonight. So GG's to them. Let's hit up the captain, see if they want to do an interview here. And I will meet you in the NGS lobby.
Sounds good.
Hi, Kyle. How are you doing?
Hello.
All right, so we have Kyle joining us. Also, the tank for Careless Badgers. We saw him playing the Joanna in the last game. How are you feeling after that win?
That was pretty good. We didn't think we would win there, but we got a pick on May into Thrall and some other folk and ended up taking it with the boss.
Yeah, I mean, we were just sitting here saying maybe this is going to be another long game, Tribs going back and forth, but then you guys won Curse and you just decided to run it down. Let's talk a little bit about your drafts. We saw Samru being banned both games. Was that a target ban? What was going on there?
Yeah, we fought Tiny Dancers earlier in the season of Heroes Lounge, and the game we lost to them was a Sammy game on Alterac Pass. So we banned the Alterac Pass, and we banned the Sammy because it was all over us. Once it gets on Anduin or Deckard, it can be hard to peel off.
Dax, do you have some questions you want to throw out here?
I just want to go back to game one there. I mean, they left ETC open for you. I know that seems to be, the ETC is the hot contested. I just want to ask your feel of ETC with the patch today. Did you notice the armor difference there? And I saw you went, was it mic check, I think, instead of the Encore now?
Yeah, their team with the Anduin was mainly the reason why I didn't think a lot of moshes would be happening. They were very good at zoning us out. The May was extremely forward. So there was a chance to get a cooldown reduction versus Yrel, which was the big hope there. And I think, Amp probably could have messed with Yrel a little bit, but it's the armor you feel, but on top of it, it's the tower damage up by 10% that you really feel. So combine those two for ETC, he's not really walking in and soaking tower shots to get people on the building quick.
Going into game number 2, you guys were given map pick. What was your thinking going to Cursed Hollow? Is that just a preferable map for your team?
No, actually, but they ban out Towers of Doom, which is our main map, and then we weren't necessarily interested in another endurance test, and they play a Rexar and just all the trimmings for a Dragonshire. Mm-hmm. So we've been there. We had to ring around the rosy to like level 26 in our Heroes Lounge match versus them on Dragonshire. So we grabbed up a Cursed Hollow, mainly because they have a lower win rate with it, looking at the various datas across NGS.
All right. Another band that we saw both games was the Garrosh. Is that something you've struggled with into this team as well?
They have... That is their comfort pick, is the Garrosh.
Okay.
After getting rid of the Garrosh, the win rate goes down about 25% for them, which... We toyed with the idea a lot today of going Alarak and maybe the Greymane or Alarak Tychus, because Tychus got that really nice pseudo rework today.
Yeah, we were really excited to see Breakwood pick him up in game 1.
Yeah, and she's been practicing it a lot in our practice, so it was ready to go, which was great. And we definitely we were like, oh, game 2, we could try to Alarak in and silence the Garrosh, down it with the Tychus. and try to break the front line, but they saw through our switcheroo there. In both games, actually, they kept, even though Coffee had picked the diva, they kept banning out Coffee's picks here and there.
Yes, we noticed that.
So, I mean, Coffee's been playing a lot of diva. Luckily, we also have Breakwood and Jara who have been playing diva, so there was a good chance we were going to access it. Though it was a big question if it was going to be banned or not, because the small but needed nerf today.
Yes, yeah. Dax, do you have any other questions here before we wrap it up and get into shoutouts?
No more questions for me. Just a fantastic series. Enjoyed casting it. And congratulations. Was this your first, I think, match win in NGS and domination?
We have won something in NGS, I think. Tonight was interesting because we actually got permission to double stack it. So this was a Heroes Lounge and NGS match combined together for scheduling.
Yeah, I think they did mention that in the draft, or I'm sorry, the coin flip. So congratulations on your 2 victories tonight in 1.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's get into those shoutouts. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out before we end this interview off, Kyle?
Certainly check out Kai Berry's stream, Coffee's stream, my own stream over at Kyle Ferguson. And then cheer for Breakwood, who is making her way through the CCL drafts right now and getting a lot of attention. But retweet her, like her stuff, get her name big so she can be a part of CCL.
Yeah, I wish her the best of luck. I've been rooting for her in CCL. I would love to see her get picked up. I'm looking forward to the draft on the 17th when that happens. All right. Well, thank you so much. Congrats on the win once again. I wish you guys the best of luck in the rest of NGS and Heroes Lounge. And have a fantastic rest of your week.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, let me call Dax back here. We do have another game at 6:30, 8:30, so a half an hour here. I'll call him back. I think we're going to go over the patch notes with you guys for a little bit, and then we'll go to a break. Hang on, Dax. Let me get you back up here. Just saying, why don't we cover the patch notes a little bit with stream, and then we can go to a break before we start our game at 8:30, because we have a half an hour to kill here.
Yeah, let's do it.
I
mean,
worried.
we kind of hinted around it a little bit here and there.
Yeah, no, I was worried about being late for our next game when draft was taking too long and the lobby was breaking. But here we are. We're pretty much ready to go. So yeah, give me a second. Let me get Dax back up here, and we'll get the patch notes showing so you guys can follow along with us real quick.
Actually, I need to do the same thing. I got to pull them up.
Yeah, I have to add them into the overlay, so just give me a minute here.
Take your time.
Let's see. Gonna cover us up a little bit, but
That's quite all right by me.
we will